But he's real nice about that, right? But let me just help you understand. I could be in the Senate for the rest of my life. I mean, I can't because we have term limits, but I could be in the Senate for the rest of my life and not be able to accomplish what needs to be accomplished when it comes to our Second Amendment rights if I did not have the backing, and I'm not talking about campaign stuff. I'm talking about boots on the ground, real people back home standing up for the Second Amendment, talking to other people about the Second Amendment. Y'all would be shocked at how powerful you are. You are powerful. You are powerful when you're sitting in the coffee shops talking to other people. People say, oh, well, I never talk about politics or religion. I think you ought to be talking about both, right? But this ain't a religious meeting. This is a Second Amendment meeting, right? But I just want to, for those of you that are activists, I want to thank you. For those of you that have not yet become activists, if you're still a person that believes that it's not polite to talk about political issues, if you're a person that believes that it's not polite or proper to talk about the Second Amendment with your friends and relatives that don't understand the Second Amendment, I know that politicians aren't supposed to do this, and particularly since I just got one more election coming up that I'm trying to win, but I'm just going to tell you, if you're still one of those people, you're wrong. Okay? Because we're past the time of being polite. We're past the time of trying to do the politically correct thing. We're past that time. And what we need is for everybody to stand up and be willing to talk about these issues, be willing to educate their neighbors. I talked to a guy the other day. I'll close with this. It's one of the things that made me really figure out how close we are to losing it all. I was talking to a friend of mine, good friend, someone that I really kind of look at this person as a conservative. I mean, just a person that I really thought was on the right track, right? And they said to me after one of these recent, things that the news makes a big deal out of, and it is a big deal, but, the news makes a big deal out of if something happens where somebody uses a firearm to commit a crime, right? And this person happens to know that I personally believe that every American citizen should not only have a firearm, but every American citizen should have an arsenal. An arsenal, right? This person knows that I believe that way. And this person said to me, Brian, don't you think that we could agree on something reasonable? He said, don't you think that now, this is almost like an oxymoron, right? He said, don't you think that we as conservatives can give a little bit of ground on this Second Amendment stuff? And I said, well, my first answer is no, but what do you got in mind? And here's what they said to me. What if, and they were honestly proposing this, they said, what if we didn't violate anybody's Second Amendment rights, but you know what's about to happen when somebody says, hey, I don't want to violate your Second Amendment rights, but whatever comes after the but, I guarantee you is a violation of your Second Amendment rights. Right? So this is what this person said to me. Without violating anybody's Second Amendment rights, couldn't we just say that each family could only have like 1 or 2 AR-15s? Good. And I'm telling you, this really struck me, right? Because when I'm talking to some reporter, or I'm talking to somebody that I don't think is a conservative, and they say something like that, I'm kind of expecting it, right? But this came from somebody that I thought was kind of a conservative. And they said, we won't be violating anybody's Second Amendment rights if we just say that each household or each family can only have 1 or maybe 2 AR-15s. And I said, no, you just don't get it, do you? I said, you understand what this is all about. And they said, well, why would anybody need more than 1 AR-15? Now, this person actually lives in my neighborhood, right? And I said, well, how many do you have? They said, none. I said, how many patrol rifles, how many defensive weapons do you own? None. I said, okay, I want you to think about something. I said, if America was to lose its position, America right now the American dollar is the official medium of exchange for international business. You all know that? Like when people from